Hey, what's up everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Fairy Tale episode 123 by popular demand because I know a lot of you guys enjoyed my last review, so I'm going to keep doing them, see how it goes, see if I, continue to enjoy doing them. So far, I had a blast with the last one, and jumping into this one, I can't have nothing but excitement as well because, uh, basically, in order for me to review this episode, I gotta spoil it. So if you haven't seen the episode, go check out 123 because I'm gonna spoil something huge in regards to the whole thing. Is if the Fairy Tale Guild survived or they died, and basically they survived. Uh, they were their hopes, I guess, and the first master of fairy tale, Mavis, she basically used their hopes, because they were all together, their faith and stuff, and she turned it into a defensive magic called Fairy Spear. It's one of the top three, fairy magics and, fairy spells. And basically what that did is it protected them from the Acnologia's blast, but the thing about it is it put them in a frozen state that lasted for 7 years. Now, a lot of people will probably be like, oh, 7 years, they didn't change at all. The only ones that changed are the ones on the outside. And to be honest with you, I think it's something different. It's something, okay, 7 years passed, but everything surrounding the main characters as opposed to the main characters and everything else changing, it's something, to me, in my opinion, is something pretty original because, okay, we're not going to age the characters because that would kind of be like, I don't want to see Natsu 7 years older at this particular point. I kind of don't really want to see that because he hasn't even met Igneel or anything like that. So let's change everything around. Let's grow Romeo. Let's make Macau. Let me get into that as a matter of fact. Macau is actually the I guess now the master of fairy tale, the fourth master, because when they allegedly passed away and stuff like that from the Acnologia, they had to appoint somebody and they appointed Macau. I can't think of anybody in the guild that probably would have been more suited, but then again that's saying something because that means Macau, he is pretty weak, and especially look what happened to the guild. Like they're getting beat up, they're getting they went from like number one guild to like some barnyard bottom feeding guild, getting beat up every day, owing money because they had to borrow money. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, the Fairy Tale Guild was pretty pitiful of what it became 7 years without, pretty much everyone. We just had like Macau, we had, just like people that are like a bunch of weak, I guess you could say, wizards and stuff like that. Because I was just like, 7 years and Macau is the leader. But I did like one thing. I gotta say that in this episode, Romeo's character development in 7 years, he went from a kid that nobody really cared about to I thought he was pretty badass towards the end when they came back for the money again. One of the new guilds, I guess, or one of the top guilds now in Fior came back for the money. Romeo was like, oh man, these people are all pathetic. And he walks up to them like, hell, we're paying you. We don't got the money. And like right when, he was about to get serious, I think his magic went out. But then that was perfect point when Natsu and them showed up and started kicking butt, and I was really excited. I just had a smile on my face for that particular moment. I thought the episode was handled very well because it could have been something completely different and unlikable. I thought it was a different approach to a time skip rather than like a Dragon Ball Z time skip, and it's not like it's this big fairy tale Shippuden type of time skip. It's just a time skip surrounding the characters, but not the actual characters. So I thought that was pretty interesting the way they handled it. It's nice that we didn't have to wait too long either, because I think it would have been very, very boring if we would have had to wait like even a handful of episodes with Macau as the leader, and just looking at Romeo sobbing about this stuff, with a sad face. I don't know. To me, I thought that the time skip was something very different, and it was nice and unique for the fairy tale story, and it made more sense than like we're gonna age Natsu 7 years, or I wouldn't mind Lucy being aged 7 years, but to me it was just handled correctly, and I really enjoyed the episode. I thought Romeo was pretty badass. I loved seeing the characters return at the end. So like we had about a good chunk of the episode to like miss the characters and like, oh man, what's happening exactly, which is great because we need some type of point to be like, oh man, I really want to see the characters. But it wasn't too long to the point where like I'm sick of seeing Macau. Can we just get the characters back already, or can we do something? Because Fairy Tale would have been a very boring story if it was Macau as the leader getting beat up every day and Romeo's, being all sad. So I thought it was handled very well. Very enjoyable episode. Go check it out. 123 of Fairy Tale. yeah, it just had a smile on my face to see them return, and basically it was explained very nicely that Mavis used their hopes into a magic, their faith and stuff like that. So it was pretty good. Let me know what you thought of it. What was your favorite moment? Was it the Fairy Tale Guild? It had to be them returning and kicking butt, but it could have also been, seeing Romeo and hearing the explanation. Was it Ichia appearing and falling and busting his head? There was a lot of funny moments, a lot of cool moments, and it was all around an enjoyable episode. So what's your favorite moment? That's all I have for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this and think that the time skip is something original for the fairy tale universe. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, have an awesome day, people.